Hello everyone, welcome back to Screen to Screen. I'm Andrew, this is Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris.
Well, it seems like Tomb Raider is just around the corner. Let's take a look at the original Tomb Raider.
Yeah, the man who started the tomb raiding forever.
The first Tomb Raider ever in existence.
And really the main reason why is the Tomb Raider movie, from what I've seen in the trailers, is just the game. Like,
yeah.
If you compare the movie trailer with the video game trailer, it's like, oh, there's the plane, there's the bad guy. It seems like it's a pretty straightforward adaptation.
That's probably good.
Yeah, like, I think it'll make probably the best Tomb Raider movie that way.
I think it's probably definitely the best Tomb Raider movie. And I think what we want to do this time, well, let's see if we can fix Indiana Jones.
Like, it's a great franchise, but let's be serious.
It has one pretty big problem.
Such a big problem.
Yeah, so we got the King of the Crystal Skull, kind of threw the series out of whack. And I think what we want to do today is see if we can bring Indy back, because they are going to make another Indiana Jones.
They are making another one. They're making a fifth Indiana Jones movie.
They're either going to end the series or they're going to pass the torch. And
if they're not going to pass it to Shia,
if Disney owns this thing, they're probably going to want to make new Indiana Jones movies forever, like they're doing with Star Wars.
I imagine.
If we are to make our own Indiana Jones movie.
Yes.
I feel like there's a few things we gotta keep in mind. This would be now the 60s, you know? If it's 10 years after Crystal Skull, so we would have to, George Lucas, his mentality was, takes place in the 30s, make it like a adventure serial.
He was big on like telling the story that was being told at the time it's set.
Then the 50s, unfortunately, was a bit of like a campy sci-fi thing.
Which did not work well.
Which didn't work well, but the 60s, they got that James Bond, Man from U.N.C.L.E. kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that could be an interesting spin on Indiana Jones. I'm not saying like strictly James Bond. I'm saying like let's start there and then indie-fy this a bit.
See, the trickiness there is Indiana Jones. Like, you gotta put it in dusty, abandoned temples. It has to be in ruins.
Oh, yeah, totally. I
mean, this is kind of a Tomb Raider episode because the Tomb Raider movie's coming out, and this is the OG Tomb Raider.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying we should, like, necessarily do all spy stuff, but, like...
But we want to have an element of that.
Yeah, the aesthetic of the 60s is very fun to play with. And why set in the 60s if we're not going to have a little fun with that?
All right, well, in that case, we need to... What was going on politically in the world at that point?
Well, the Cold War. I mean...
The Cold War.
Like,
so...
And the thing about it is, like, the reason why I'm thinking James Bond is because you could put, like, anything in there. You could put, like, any sort of, like a Soviet supervillain, or it doesn't even have to be Soviet, but it's just, like, that Cold War era sort of, like, maybe there is... I don't know, some sort of relic or something that, like, I don't know, it's usually some sort of relic. I feel like every single time, so the MacGuffin is important to an Indiana Jones movie.
I mean, I think we can make this a bit of a spy situation while keeping the Indiana Jones thing alive.
Yeah.
And I think the way you do that is, so the Cold War's happening, America and Russia not talking, but academics were still able to travel. Like,
yeah. That's interesting.
Indiana Jones could be approached by the government with a bit of like, hey, we need you to do something for us. And then he's going to, of course, say no. Like, why would he want to do that? And,
he's getting too old for this.
Hey, maybe there's a thing that deserves to be in a museum that he needs to get over in the Soviet land. So maybe
that's what they're telling him anyway.
Yeah, like, we could always have the double cross.
Yeah.
Like, we can't pass the torch to Shia LaBeouf. He doesn't want to come back and do it. We can't recast Indy if we're passing the torch, obviously, so... If we want to go forward with Indiana Jones 5, which is what they're doing, who's going to be this partner for Indy, and who's going to take on the mantle of Indy? Because Indy's the dog's name.
Right.
It's not his name.
Indy's the dog's name.
Anyone could be Indy.
Who's the next Indy? Yeah.
Who will be Indiana Jones going forward? And I think it should be Short Round. Like, when he was a child, like a wee little boy... He was in the darkest Indiana Jones movie ever made. Like,
he would be about 40 years old, in mid 40s, I think, in the 60s.
I think if we're going forward with the idea that Indiana Jones is approached by the United States government, so he's going into Soviet Russia, and he needs to get a thing. We'll figure all that out as we go forward. But a good place to maybe introduce Short Round is maybe Short Round is also a spy for his country, and like,
Oh, interesting.
it's kind of one of those like, hey, we were buddies for a long time, haven't seen you for a while. Like, there's no reason why we can't team up. We're doing kind of the same thing.
Okay.
And I think the end results as they go forward will end up being Short Round's loyalty is not to his country, it's to his friends.
Oh, interesting.
Indiana Jones. Like,
yeah.
Part of the whole, like, the all-American hero is a bit of the Indiana Jones thing.
Yeah.
Like, he always defeats the Nazis, he defeats the Soviets, like...
I mean, Short Round is a fan of America. He's got, like, the Yankees cap and everything.
That's true.
Here's another thing I think we should keep in mind. If Short Round will be the new Indiana Jones. So... Indiana Jones, like, what makes Indiana Jones? Like, he's an archaeologist.
Yes.
He's an academic, and then he's like, he's a relic hunter. He's a tomb raider. So, like, Short Round should probably have some sort of, like, background like that.
I like that better, actually. Instead of making him a spy, maybe he should just be working for his country as an archaeologist. He's here as part of an archaeological dig.
Okay, so Short Round is an academic now?
Archaeologist, he was inspired by Indy. He could even be like China's version of Indiana Jones.
Okay,
like,
he's already kind of... Okay.
But it might be cute having, like, Indiana Jones bumps into someone he doesn't recognize, but they're dressed just like him. Like, they have a whip, they're wearing the hat. They're like, who are you?
This whole time, he's been the Indiana Jones of China.
Yeah. Like, maybe there's some colleagues, and they're like, oh, he's so cool. Like, did you see his whip? I heard stories.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Like, this whole time, he's been just like, and like, he's making up stories about, like...
Telling stories that Indy was told him. Oh, back in the old days, like, you should have seen me.
Oh, that would be pretty funny.
That would be really funny.
See, that would be a fun way to sort of like forget about Crystal Skull. Like, that would have been a fun way to bring back the series, because all of these, like, stories and stuff.
It would be really great, because, like, you could delay the introduction of Short Round and just have Indiana Jones keep on, like, bumping into people that work with Short Round and tell the story of, like, oh man, like, he wears you're copying him.
Yeah.
Like, Indiana Jones gets, like, increasingly perturbed about it. Just like, what? Because he has a bit of an ego, as we know through the movies.
Yeah, I mean, and he could be using the name Indiana Jones.
Oh my god, he can. He so can. Oh, I really like that.
So all right, so Short Round, since Temple of Doom, he's been on a few adventures with Indy. So since Temple of Doom, he's sort of taken the sort of he's taken over. He's Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
That could be kind of funny, and maybe that's like a when they finally meet. Like, that's the first thing that they have to address, where you're just like, you're stealing my thunder, Short Round. It's like, don't call me that anymore, or whatever.
That's not my name anymore. It's Indiana.
So Indy's got some sort of thing to do with the U.S. government about some MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Maybe in China, or at least that's the first step. There's always like...
I mean, my ability to remember world history is going to be woefully unsuitable for this episode.
Well, we'll just throw magic in there. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's also a fantasy universe. Like, if we're a little bit off, that's fine. If we're going to break down what makes an Indiana Jones movie, it needs to be about a relic of some kind.
Yeah.
We have to have an external foe in the form of generally the Nazis, sometimes the Soviets.
Yeah.
And I think the third most important element outside of those two is it has to be globe-trotting. It's a globe-trotting adventure.
Yeah.
And that's always the case with the Indiana Jones movies. They have to be globe-trotting.
Yeah.
We do need to have him go places.
Yeah.
And this is a good way to do that. Like, we'll get Russia in there, we can get China in there, we could start in America, because he has to be approached by someone. Like, we could set up the fact that it's passing the torch by having the movie open with, like, a retirement party.
Yeah. He's
beyond tenure at this point.
Yeah.
Like, he's old.
I can't remember where we left off in Crystal Skull, though. Did he retire? I don't remember
if he retired as a teacher.
We should have
rewatched that terrible movie.
But why? I didn't want to have to rewatch it.
No, I really don't want to rewatch it either.
So I like the idea of, like, Short Round kind of stealing Indy's stories.
Yeah.
But I think it's like if the torch is being passed, he becomes the new Indiana Jones. They are his stories now. He's the one wearing the hat.
Yeah.
You know, he's the one wearing the jacket. He is now, and it's like a legend that like continues.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but for Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones, his character arc, I think we could play with that a little bit because I don't think he's ready for that as a character, and I think that's where we could have a lot of fun because. We open, he's a teacher, he's going to be retiring today, like his party's later, and he's doing his final lesson, but no one's excited.
Yeah.
No one's like, oh, wow, or like fawning over him.
He's also married now, I guess?
Is he?
At the end of the
Crystal
fourth
Skull?
movie, yeah.
God, I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's the last scene. He gets married.
Ooh.
They're going to address it anyway in the new movie.
No matter what. But I think for us, the easy solution is when he's approached by the government, it's a secret. He's not allowed to tell us.
Yeah. And it
so
could be
the solution.
I mean, it could be as simple as like, if you're married to Indiana Jones, you're like, okay.
Yeah, like there are things you accept.
Yeah. Indiana Jones is retiring. Dr. Jones is retiring.
Dr. Jones is retiring. He's kind of bummed that his students aren't excited by him anymore.
Yeah.
Like, the Cold War is this big world-spanning thing, and he's just an archaeologist. Like, compared to the global fear they're feeling, like he's nothing, so he just feels left behind at this point.
And these baby boomers are all into I don't know, what are they into?
Probably not archaeology.
They're just into like the Beatles or something.
TV at this point is a big thing.
Yeah,
like,
and I guess like teen culture is like a thing.
Yeah,
but I guess that started in the 50s.
Like, when in the 60s are we? Because the hippie movement could be starting.
1967, so yeah, definitely hippie culture. We're right in it.
And at this point, like, I imagine his students are really just like
protesting.
Yeah.
You know, like there's all
it's like sometimes you gotta get your hands dirty. Like, no, man.
I mean, there's like, oh man, the Vietnam War is like a whole thing.
Oh, right. Indiana Jones is feeling a little bit left behind. Like the culture's moved on.
Yeah. It's the culture's changed. Like the culture's changed a lot since Crystal Skull.
Oh yeah.
Like 57 to 67. I mean, like that's the whole thing. He is like an old relic now. Mm-hmm. He himself is a relic.
He is a relic. He belongs in a museum at this point.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of the worst possible way to say that. It's like, hey, old man, you belong in a museum. Hey, that's my line.
That's my line.
Or maybe he has retired and it's not settling with him.
Yeah.
You know, he got married and he retired and he still craves more.
Yeah, he's
10 years later.
He's having trouble adjusting.
He's probably retired at he's like 70 something. He's probably retired.
Probably.
But
he's the kind of person like I don't imagine he wanted to retire.
Yeah.
It was probably like archaeology. At this point in our worlds, if you're learning about archaeology, you're going to one of like 4 colleges. Like, it's very specific these days.
Yeah. So he's retired. He's been retired for years. Then like a U.S. Like spy, whatever CIA person comes to his front door, and are you Dr. Jones? And we need you for such and such.
He just needs. He feels the need to get away.
Yeah. To save his marriage, he needs the old Indy back. He needs to. Yeah. He needs to like one last thing.
We could even have what's her face say something like, "Where's the spark? Where's the adventure?"
Yeah.
And like he could be like, "That's what I want to know."
Yeah.
Where is that adventure I need?
And he has to go on this mission to retrieve something.
We could make this a bit of a spy movie, but instead of governments, we take the theme of the spy movie and we apply that to universities. Short Round is for a university.
That's interesting.
Like that way, it's not Indiana Jones working for a government, and he doesn't have to be betrayed by a government, and we don't have to worry about.
There's a MacGuffin.
Yes.
Short Round's there.
Short Round's working for another organization, be it a university or a government. Indiana Jones hears about him beforehand and is like, "Who is this guy? He sounds like me when I was younger." The bad guys are going to be the Soviets because it's the Cold War, just like how the Nazis are always the baddies.
Now I feel like we should probably just have in mind, what does this relic do?
What does it do?
It's probably some sort of magic.
I mean,
Is it a Chinese relic? I think that's fun. Like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like I know quite enough about Chinese culture to, off the top of my head, come up with something convincing. There's been.
When was the terracotta army found?
You're thinking like they you can control like the warriors.
Like, that's what the whole idea for the terracotta army was. It's like, hey, if anyone ever messes with this emperor in the afterlife, he has a whole army.
Now that's something fun,
right? Like, it's pretty in line, I think.
Indiana Jones and the Terracotta Warriors.
Like Indiana Jones and the I mean, we could come up with a cooler name than the Terracotta Warriors.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones and the Ancient Army.
The problem with that, I love the idea of that. The problem with that, I think that would be the worst tool during the Cold War. It would be in a time where everyone's trying to be secret and spies. If you have these like stone warriors marching down the streets, like.
I mean, I was just thinking, like, what works for war, and again, we're getting hung up on the fact that we're really bad at history.
What we're bad at. What wins the Cold War? It's like information. It's like, you know, it's not about attacking. It's about having the upper hand in other ways. What if it's some sort of like one of those like a crystal ball or like a magic mirror, like from Beauty and the Beast, like
so something that allows like divination.
Divination spy. Like, I feel like that's Cold War.
Yeah.
Someone comes to his door, probably from the government, maybe by a school or whatever. They say, you know, we need Indy for this thing. You know, you're the only one who knows. You're the expert on this relic.
Yeah,
you know?
like you did your retirement thesis on this.
Retirement thesis.
Totally a thing.
Yeah, like, you know this, and we need this.
A favor for a friend, and you know.
Yeah.
It'll be easy, Indy. Like, you know, this isn't Nazi Germany Ark of the Covenant anymore. You know, you're just going in.
Yeah. Like, we think we finally found it. Like, it.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a legend, but we think it's, you know, we think we found it here.
And maybe we could do like a, you know, we've been in contact with Shanghai University.
He's short rounds from Hong Kong. That way you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, nice and controlled by the I think British government at that point.
Yeah, time, up until like the 90s it was. And he meets Short Round. Short Round has made himself the Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
You know, and all the legends that come after, you know, come with that. He's been kind of, you know, he has his own stories because he actually, you know, is a bit of an Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I mean,
but he's also been kind of. And he's like in his 40s now.
Yeah.
And, you know, those two catch up, they get to know each other, whatever. But now the two of them, they are trying to find this relic in a temple or something.
Yeah.
You know, and then the temples are great because all sorts of crazy stuff can happen in there. The relic we're finding out through like research, whatever, is some sort of like allegedly lets you sort of, it's like a divination sort of, lets you see the future, lets you see the present,
lets you see like faraway things, like remote viewing or whatever.
Yeah. A remote viewing stone of something, and
like legends say, it lets you blah blah blah.
Yeah, but that's not why we're here. It's because it still belongs in a museum.
Jones, it belongs in a museum.
Yeah,
and of course, even though Indiana Jones has, over the course of his life, drank from the Holy Grail, opened the Ark of the fucking Covenant,
saw aliens,
and watched a man rip a beating heart out of someone's chest, and it only burst into flames when his body hit lava. After all of that, he is still the guy who goes, no, it's just stories. It's...
Well, to be fair, as an archaeologist, he probably sees a lot of things that don't turn into magic.
True. Like, for every one Ark of the Covenant he opens like 97 clay pots that are filled with like fossilized human shit.
Yeah, and it's probably like, you know, at some point, like in the middle of the movie, when the magic happens, he's like, oh, I guess this one's magic. Okay.
Yep.
Like, he's not even fazed by it anymore. He's just sort of like, oh, I guess this is a magic one.
Every once in a while, you know.
Sometimes it's magic.
I thought the government was just being dumb, but I guess they caught this one.
And maybe Short Round hasn't seen magic since Temple of Doom. I don't know.
Oh, maybe like he's been a proper... Like, he's been dressing like an adventurer, but he's been, like, doing such boring... So when he bumps into Indy, he gets really excited.
And he's like, I thought I hallucinated that because, like, you know, they were taking, like, the weird drugs.
Oh, that's right! Indiana Jones was mind-controlled at that point,
Yeah, it's like, he blocked out most of that or whatever.
It was like childish memories. Because the academic system ground him down, but he still dresses this way because he has... great nostalgia for that exciting time he had.
Yeah. Maybe that's his arc. Is that like maybe he needs to be worthy of like he's like playing Indiana Jones.
Yeah, he's playing pretend, but this is like.
But he actually needs to actually go on a real adventure.
That's good. We need a character arc for both of them, not just for Indy.
Yeah. So Indy needs to learn to sort of.
Learn that the world is changing and that
that his legend is more important than his like he'll live on forever. Like his legend will live on
exactly for Short Round,
and Short Round will pass it along to the next one
because that other kid that wore a leather jacket got arrested. Now I haven't seen him for a while.
And Short Round's arc is that like he needs to sort of I don't know he needs to stop. He needs to not let his dreams be dreams.
He needs to not let his dreams be dreams.
To quote Indy Jr. And he needs to actually live the. He needs to learn to not live vicariously. He needs to tap into who he was as a kid.
Yeah.
So they get like there's the relic, the divination relic, some sort of
I mean like we could come back and like do some research.
Yeah, some sort of ornate Chinese sculpture.
Yeah, the Jade Eye.
The Jade Eye. That's fine. That sounds like Indiana Jones.
It doesn't need to be real.
No, it's not. Yeah. Then the Soviets come in.
Yeah.
And they want the Jade Eye. We'll say. Do we want to call Indiana Jones and? It's the Jade. That's too short. Indiana Jones and the Jade Eye. Shouldn't there be a little?
I mean, it could be Indiana Jones and the quest for the Jade Eye.
Yeah. All right.
We could place the Jade Eye because again, we want to have great locations. So instead of calling it the Jade Eye, we can keep that a bit of a mystery, and it could be like Indiana Jones and the Hidden City or something like that.
What about we call it Indiana Jones and Return of the Jade Eye?
Ooh, there you go.
That way, Lucas will be happy.
Done. We've met Short Rounds.
Mm-hmm.
They catch up a little bit, and we go to the first location, and it's like a dusty temple somewhere, and they go through, and we go for a bit of like a campy nostalgia bit. Like, there's traps they avoid. It's a fun adventure, and you're like, oh, this is a good Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah. It's very, very classic 1930s classic.
Very classic. We get to what they're looking for. It's like a little... It's like a stone tablet map to the hidden city they're trying to find that has this object. And before they get it, in a fun little twist, like the wall behind the thing just blows open, and a Soviet tank is there.
Yeah,
they're like hiding from the debris, and like our big bad Soviet villain will be introduced here.
Yeah.
And it's just like, did you go through the whole temple?
Yeah.
Waste of time.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, like this big, strong, scary guy just waltzes in, picks it up, walks out, triggers like a big trap, and they have to run away in the opposite direction. Oh,
and here's I think a fun way to sort of make this in the 60s and everything.
Oh god.
And sort of that James Bond kind of feel. They steal the map before Indy can get a look at it.
Yeah.
But we have Short Round has like this like microfilm camera, this microfilm spy camera, and he took a picture, and that's sort of like this fun sort of like you young kids with your technology, and then he takes it back and like get it developed, and then like you could have like a whole dark room scene where they're like, we need to go here. Where would the Jade Eye be though? Like maybe well, that the Chinese Empire was pretty vast. Like, it could go
it was quite vast.
Some other Asian country. I mean, then go to Japan. Like it could be like
China could have done
or Korea. I mean, like
China like had pretty much all of the Eurasian continent at one point.
Yeah. They go somewhere.
Yes.
It could be like China's big. It could be somewhere else in China.
Like it could be in Tibet somewhere. Like we're treading a little bit in Temple of Doom waters, but I think that's actually good because that's where we met Short Round.
Yeah, that's true. That's very good.
It rhymes.
It's all rhyming. It's all rhyming. China and Tibet area. It's all rhyming. Yeah.
Gosh, Lucas, you ruined the idea of rhyming.
So all right. They go to. So they find the map or something. I don't know. Like in some. Are we going to two different temples now? Is that the idea? Like
I think I think temple to start with. City, like Lost City.
A Lost City. Oh yeah. Okay, a Lost City, sort of like a Machu Picchu.
Picchu, or fucking Atlantis. It could be underwater.
Oh geez, there was that Machu Picchu in Japan. Like,
oh yeah.
Like maybe there was some sort of trading deal that was done in ancient times.
Yeah.
And maybe it's in there.
China is a bit of a red herring, and it's actually a Japanese idol, but because it's a Chinese story. Because Japan and China, a lot of trading, a lot of like shared history. Hey, the whole city could be lost because of this relic.
Okay.
Like, that's kind of
like it caused the downfall of the civilization.
Yeah, like it could be the thing that caused the downfall. It could be
because people were like too obsessed on spying on each other.
Yeah, like if we're gonna try and work a parable in here, we don't have to.
It probably like was owned by like a king or emperor or something.
Oh, probably.
And
why, God? Why?
maybe it shows the possibility of what's there. It's sort of like a Minority Report sort of thing, where it's like, you know, if you can tell the future, like, you know. Like maybe the emperor just sort of like saw everyone betraying him, and the more he tried to stop it, the more he saw they were betraying him because he was causing his own fate. And it's sort of just like it's a self-defeating sort of relic.
Soviet guy finally gets it. He beats Indiana Jones there. He picks it up and he's like, well, let's see what you American pig dogs are up to. And the first thing he sees is like his first in command. Yeah. Like he sees an image of him like stabbing the back and taking the thing for himself and getting all the credit.
Oh, like right there in the room with him.
Right in the room, like we learn what the consequences
and they just slaughter each other.
Yeah, like he just turns around and shoots him and like it causes like a little chain reaction.
He shoots him and then he sees like everyone else in the room, like there's like a mutiny. Yeah, and he's just like shooting everyone. There's like, oh, that's interesting. All right, that's, you know, for our slapdash outline, I think that's a kind of a fun ending.
I mean, I like it because like if you're power ranking the Indiana Jones movies, it's usually people argue about whether or not it's Last Crusade or
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, those are usually, everyone's like, number 1, number 2, Temple of Doom often gets 3rd place, and then Crystal Skull's 4th. So, like, I think if we're sticking with the best 2, like, you stick with that, the item is lost for a reason. Like,
yeah. It
shouldn't be found. I think that's a really good, tight way to wrap it up.
So he's at the end of his career at the beginning of the movie. Yeah. But the legacy, he's got no legacy. He never. Well. he never had all of his finds have been like secret. Yeah. Like he's not allowed to talk
they're in
about
that
them.
Stupid warehouse.
Yeah, the top men are on them.
Yeah.
So he's like at the end of his career, he's getting up there in years, and he looks back at his life, and what has he done?
What's he have to show for it?
There's no one's gonna remember him. You know, he's been on these adventures, but no one's gonna remember him, and that's why he wants the legacy. He wants to do one find for a university, you know. His father
into the beginning.
Yeah, his father tried to do it. He's gonna beat his father at his own game. Maybe give him some legacy there.
Yeah.
And he's finally going to do something that the government isn't going to
take away
from him. This isn't a magic thing. It's just a very important relic. And then in the end, he finds out it's magic, and it's great. Now I'm not going to tell anyone about this either. But then he looks into the mirror of the future, and he sees that Short Round. He carries the name.
Yeah,
Indiana Jones. It will live on, you know, for generations.
Oh, I like that a lot because it's one of the situations where the relic itself, because again, Ark of the Covenant, Holy Grail, these aren't inherently evil things.
Right? Yeah.
It's evil intentions that you shouldn't bring to them because then you die.
Yeah.
This is another one, like a bunch of power-hungry people brought a whole city to ruin because of this item.
Oh, man.
And obviously the Soviets being the quintessential bad guys of this setting, that's what they want it for, greedy, warmongering purposes. And when he looks in it, he doesn't have that in his heart. He's not here for greedy reasons. He just sees Short Round picking up the torch, moving forward, and he goes, I do have a legacy after all.
It's you.
It's you, Short Round. And Short Round goes, oh, thanks.
That's super good. I like how there's elements of all 3 good movies in there. That's really fun.
Like, I think, because again, Crystal Skull sucked because it was the characters you like just without any of the other parts.
Yeah. And this one, even old Georgie will like it because we do spy stuff, and that's the 60s.
Yeah, we do spy stuff like the 60s, and we did a lot of rhyming, and we did
a lot of rhyming.
Loves rhyming.
I really like the Jade Eye. I really like that it works with the Soviets because they want to spy on people, and it works with like Indiana Jones and his legacy. He gets to rest assured.
Yeah, that was really a good move on your part, linking that up with the.
I love theme stuff. That's my thing.
That's what makes a good movie.
Yeah, I love that.
When the action supports the character growth, then you have a tight good movie.
Well, thank you for watching Screen to Screen. If you have any ideas for any other adaptations, movie sequels, let us know in the comments. And what do you want to see for Indiana Jones 5? Why not? Let us know. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.